Did your elementary school teacher ever make you go and stand in the corner when all you were doing was trying to speak the truth? Is Barack Obama secretly Hawaiian? Are the Church of Scientology secretly trying to take over your town? Do the Jews secretly control the Israeli government? Don't get cold feet just yet, because it's always 90 degrees here in the conspiracy corner. Or at least that's what they want you to think.
So, when you came to me and you said, let's do, not controversy, let's do conspiracy corner, I looked at you like you were a little silly. And then I realized, wait, that's actually kind of cool. So,
well, the thing is, Nick, and thank you for mentioning that, but I am a little bit silly.
You are a very silly man.
And I think that conspiracy theories are a lot more fun than the news and current events.
Okay. What about conspiracy theories? Like, what is this particular segment about?
This segment that I invented called Conspiracy Corner is about the fun and outlandish conspiracy theories.
Because there's a lot.
There are plenty to go through. Certainly. And this isn't necessarily a show about debunking, about producing, the hard evidence and saying, oh, well, people are morons and there's plenty of hard evidence. This is more about having fun with.
But people are morons. Can we agree with that? Because I'm moronic.
Let's take a quick survey. There's two of us. I'm a moron. You're a moron.
100%.
That's 100%.
100% of it. 2 out of 2 is very moronic. And because our other co-host, because we elevated you from part-time to full-time as our good old Samuel buddy.
From co-star to star. Right after Sam was abducted by aliens.
Yes. And I believe we are talking about the stars. The ancient aliens.
Speaking of visiting from stars, today we wanted to open up the segment with the maybe biggest, maybe the most famous conspiracy theory. Was Earth in the past visited by extraterrestrial intelligence? Did aliens build the pyramids?
That one could be its own controversial corner. Conspiracy corner. Sorry, my C's are getting mixed up. But my point is, ancient aliens. Bruh.
Yeah,
not to be confused with the History Channel one.
I think most people who grew up with the 2000s and the History Channel would be familiar with the TV show about ancient aliens, largely based off of Erich von Däniken's book from the 70s there, Chariots of the Gods, where he claims that in Earth's distant past, human beings were visited by extraterrestrials. That the Egyptian Great Pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge, the Moai of Easter Island, etc., are evidence of this interaction with ancient aliens.
So, Brett, let me ask you this. You mean to tell me that at some point, you think prior to humans being able to walk, talk, and move like we do today, we were visited by other organisms, I guess is the right word, because...
I never fucking said that. No, I don't believe that. And I don't believe in any of the conspiracy theories on this portion. But I do think that they're fun. I do think that they're interesting. And I do think that they reveal something about mankind, about us ourselves.
Man do be doing its kind thing.
In particular, I think Erich von Däniken and the Chariots of the Gods interpretation of the ancient astronaut theory is emblematic of an attempt at synthesis between science and between Christianity and religion. I think it's at that inflection point that we find Erich von Däniken, who was in seminary school, studying Christian religion at the time that he wrote Chariots of the Gods, and hypothesized that some of the visions, like Ezekiel had in the Bible of a great wheel of fire in the sky, were in fact visitations by aliens.
Okay. So, because you're a smart ass, and I'm what you would call a working ass, and not of a
professional ass.
A professional ass, thank you. I work the street corners like our predecessors. What in the fuck is an astronaut theory?
The ancient astronaut theory is that, sometime aliens visited ancient humans. There are more interesting variations on the ancient astronaut theory that pose that what the Babylonians called the Anunnaki, what we would call the Babylonian pantheon, were in fact inhuman extraterrestrial aliens who created human beings out of a synthesis of Anunnaki or alien DNA
Anunnaki,
and
what is that?
Native humanoid DNA.
Okay.
The Anunnaki being a Babylonian word for the Babylonian deities.
Interesting. Okay.
Their pantheon, their gods.
I'm more of a Skyrim kind of guy. Talos, my lord and savior.
We can do a whole other episode on the lore of Skyrim and the batshit insanity therein.
Oh lord. Let's not get into that. That'll be a different episode on the main episode list.
Now, again, I think that version, the Anunnaki version, where human beings are slaves meant to mine gold on planet Earth for their Anunnaki masters, in some versions, in order to permeate the atmosphere of the home planet, Planet X or Planet 9, 10, 11, whatever the fuck it is, of the Anunnaki, Planet Nibiru, whatever the hell, with gold, in order to better insulate it, for flecks of gold to serve as a greenhouse gas to insulate and protect their home planet. I find this to be a clear riff off of the story of the Exodus in the Hebrew Bible, where the Hebrews are slaves in Egypt.
You are the leading expert on that book.
I don't want to be controversial, but I don't believe that the Exodus and the talk are strictly factual. I don't necessarily believe that Moses was a historical figure. I believe that the Hebrews
What do you mean? How would he not be? Because
in Babylon in
2,000 years, and he is written in. He's a fairly well-known guy. Like I don't know a lot, but I know Moses did the whole parting of the sea, and then he led the nice group of slaves, reformed slaves, for 40 years, 40 nights, and then he was like, "Oh my God, here is 10 commandments from the Lord." The whole riff and gist from Monty Python. I think it was Monty Python where he dropped one of the 10 commandments.
I'm not an expert on the subject. I think there's a lot more archaeological evidence for the captivity in Babylon.
Okay.
And for the Hebrews being freed from that captivity by Cyrus the Great of the Persian Empire. I think there's a lot more evidence for that than any captivity in Egypt.
Okay. So, again, going back to what the purpose of this particular episode is on Conspiracy Corner.
That the myth of captivity is greatly inspiring. I think it's an underdog story in the strictest sense of it's hard to get much lower than the humble slave, and rebelling and overthrowing these masters and reclaiming your own destiny. I think it's an inspiring tale.
I would say so. I mean, what tale is older than time? There's been slaves in human history for as long as people have been able to walk. At least in the United States,
Right.
slaves are. It goes back
Again,
to the Civil War, but it predates that.
You remember Spartacus and his rebellion?
Oh, do tell.
There's a guy named Spartacus who led a slave revolt.
Like he does.
So hot. He and most of his folks got crucified.
Those bastards. Before or after Jesus?
This was before Jesus.
Okay.
The thing is that most slave revolts fail. Most recorded slave revolts fail and are unsuccessful. Like the one in Haiti and stuff are anomalies.
We actually did an episode on witchcraft and
I was going to say you did an episode on the slave revolt in Haiti. I'd be surprised.
What we did is we touched on Haitian witch, like on how that started to deal with voodoo. Who do you voodoo, bitch? And into witchcraft. I'm more interested in why do I care that other people came to this planet prior to us being here? Why is that important? Because that's the entire conspiracy
this is
here.
the conspiracy. And again, I think at the heart of the issue is trying to reconcile Christianity and science, trying to reconcile creationism and science.
Okay.
I mean, part of the reason for this episode isn't so much ancient aliens and the guy with the wacky hair and stuff, so much as I was reading about Buckminster Fuller and his books.
Okay.
How do you describe Buckminster Fuller?
Dude, I don't even know who the hell that
architect. And he casually described in his version of the history of the human race that, human beings must have come from space.
Oh, space!
That human beings must have come from extraterrestrial DNA. And Buckminster Fuller decided that human beings must have arisen in the South Pacific.
Okay.
Which I assumed was connected to myths surrounding the lost continent of Mu and Lemuria and stuff, but
I love it when my cow goes moo.
Scientifically, assure us that it's because the South Pacific has sea temperatures of 98.6, closest to the human body temperature.
Coincidence? I think not.
That's what Buckminster Fuller said. Mr. Tensegrity Dome. Which I think is sort of ridiculous, but I also like cool weather, so being in
You're a cool person, so I understand.
So being in 98.6 degree Fahrenheit, water is not the idea of a good time, necessarily.
What a guy.
But no, as much as I love the story of the Exodus, I love the Prince of Egypt, I love the Charlton Heston version, the Ten Commandments. I don't think it's strictly true. I do think it's inspirational. I do think it's supposed to be about the birth of a nation. I think in the same way that this myth of a rebellion against alien overlords in Earth's distant past is supposed to be inspirational to some degree. But, if most slave revolts fail, if the Haitians only got by the slimmest of margins, armed with, sickles for cutting sugarcane, how could cavemen overcome space aliens with lasers and shit and faster than light travel?
I don't know. It might be one of those, like, beef heads versus the lunkheads. Like, you got your smart guys, your nerds. You got your big guys, your jocks. The jocks beat the shit out of the fucking nerds because there's more of them.
Yeah, hang on a minute. You're the fucking Assassin's Creed fanboy. You explain to me the ancient aliens shit with that.
Well, aliens don't exist in Assassin's Creed.
Oh, fuck you.
They don't exist. Everything happens on that planet. It's just that
what about the holograms of the ancient Greek gods and shit in there.
First civilization versus second civilization.
Yeah, and aren't
we
they...
would be considered the second civilization because we have, again, in the
weren't
Assassin's
the
Creed
humans
concept.
enslaved by the hologram Greek gods in there?
They were, but we're getting there. In the series, it's double helix, which is us, versus the tri-helix, which is the first civilization, which is these overlords. So they just became super smart. They just became to the point where, oh my god, we created
so if they
dummies.
If they had holograms and shit in there at the minimum, and the weird fucking orbs of mystery and shit, how did humans beat them in the rebellion in Assassin's Creed lore?
Simple. There was more slaves, double helixes, humans, versus triple helixes, which was the overlords' first civilizations. So
right.
The answer to the question is we fucked a lot more, and they just died off. And we survived through evolution. Truly, that's how they kind of esoteric their way out of that whole malarkey bullshit.
That's dumb.
Well, it's not smart. I don't know what you want from me. Took 4,000 plus years to get back to, oh, hey, we're actually having cars and automobiles. The entire reason the first civilization died was because, oh no, the sun exploded.
Oh, yeah, because it was also part of the whole 2012 thing, which will probably have to be a different episode.
We'll get there. That'll be fine. But that's a different topic.
Did they ever address that in Assassin's Creed? Like, once the year 2012 came around?
That was it lined up with
and there was no
when Desmond
Quebecois people running around cyberpunking all over the place.
I think it was Assassin's Creed 3. That's when it came up. But as we reach the end of this,
there was a Star Trek episode.
I'm sure we could make an episode on that for the Controversy Corner.
There was a Star Trek episode where they met the Greek gods and they were assholes.
They're all fucking assholes. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Ares battled a fucking demigod called Percy.
And I think they met Apollo and he was a dickbag.
Well, they're all fucking dickbags.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know who I'd bang? Aphrodite.
In your professional opinion, as a civil engineer, were the pyramids built from the top down?
I don't know. Find out on the next Conspiracy Corner, which will probably be pyramids.
Your timeout is over. As the final echoes of our broadcast dissolve back into the void, you return from the Conspiracy Corner. A place not of whispers and shadows, but of reflection. Because in every tale of hidden hands and unseen forces, there lingers something far more unsettling. Not what is out there, but what lies within ourselves. And one final thought to carry with you back into that darkness. That federal agents are like opinions. Everybody has one, and they all stink.